like to call your attention to the two gentlemen in the middle, Mr. Williams and Mr. Knox. Each put your hands up. Okay, now these gentlemen, these young gentlemen here, they served during World War II, and I think you all know a little bit about World War II, especially, you know, well, you sixth graders or fifth graders once you read the story Number of the Stars, and that takes place during World War II. There was as you know, during the Second World War, our country was at war against Germany, Italy, and Japan. And by the way, what was the name of the leader of Germany? Who knows? Yes. Adolf Hitler. Was Hitler a nice man?
No.
Okay. Our country was also at war with Japan at the same time. Now, these two gentlemen actually represent the two theaters where Mr. Charles Nolly here, he was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. How many of you have ever heard of the Tuskegee Airmen? Very good. Anyone ever see the movie Red Tails? If you saw the movie Red Tails, you saw actors portraying the Tuskegee Airmen. Well, we don't have any actors portraying the Tuskegee Airmen here today. We have the real article. Mr. Charles Nolly here was one of the actual Tuskegee Airmen who flew a plane, a fighter plane, in combat missions over Germany. The other World War II gentleman here, this is Mr. Claude Williams. Now, Mr. Williams served in the Pacific. While Mr. Nolly was serving in Europe, Mr. Williams served in the Pacific. Now, if a soldier or a sailor or a Marine were serving in the Pacific, who were the enemy they were fighting against? Yes, Japan, Japanese, right. So you'll get to hear from both these gentlemen. Now, over there, gentleman in the white shirt, Mr. Jordan, the gentleman in the white shirt, now he served during the late 1950s. He served during the period in history called the Cold War. And I don't know if you know much of anything about the Cold War. That was a long period which lasted roughly from the end of World War II until about 1990. And there was a period when we had very, very tense relations with the Soviet Union, the country you're more familiar with as Russia. It was called Cold War because most of the time the war did not actually break out actual open combat, but there was always a fear because America and Russia were the two most powerful countries in the world, two different forms of government. Now, the other three gentlemen, we have here Mr. Walter Kaczmarek, Mr. Peter Henry, Mr. James Hill. Now, these men all served during the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War, which was our longest war, lasted roughly from 1955 to 1975. And Mr. Hill and Mr. Henry, Mr. Henry there in the green shirt, Mr. Hill in the blue shirt, they were both Marines. And they are both in the Purple Heart.
I was a dog. I was a Marine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Kaczmarek and Mr. Hill were both Marines. Now they're the Purple Heart Association, which means they were wounded in combat. More than once. It was 3 times, right? Oh, 2 times. Okay, well, actually, he really was wounded 3 times, but the government did not recognize the 3rd time he was wounded because it was what they call friendly fire. But friendly or not, it can be just as bad. Right. Mr. Kaczmarek and Mr. Hill were both Marines, both wounded in combat. Mr. Henry, he was in the Army. He was also wounded in combat. And Mr. Henry was airborne. What do you mean by airborne? Does anyone know? Yes. You're on a plane, but you don't stay in a plane long. And what do you have to do? You have to jump off with the parachute. And usually you're jumping off into enemy territory. I think it's scary enough to be in a plane and having to jump off, and knowing that you're jumping off into enemy territory where there are people on the ground who want to shoot you. That makes it doubly worse. So we'll start off. Oh, one more thing. We'll let each of these gentlemen speak. We do have, unfortunately, have limited time here. So we'll give each of these men a few minutes to speak. I'd like you all to hold your questions until they've all had a chance to speak. And hopefully we'll have enough time for you to all come up and interesting items, you know, pictures and things you might like to look at, and you can ask questions one-on-one. So I'll turn the podium over to Mr. Charles Nolly here. By the way, Mr. Nolly,
It is open.
as I said, he's a young fellow. In less than a month, he has a birthday coming up. And I think some of you, I think you know how old he's going to get. 100, yes.
Probably 20 years in the ground.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I never seen such a good-looking group. Girls are beautiful, boys are handsome, wonderful. Now, I hope you just start in class. And I'll tell you why education is perhaps the most important thing in your lives right now. More important than anything. It's fun sometimes to play. In fact, if you want to play a game, that's good. But like when you go home before you go out and play baseball, you do your homework first. Because education is so important. I'll tell you how we know now. We flew a plane called P-51. Our plane was the fastest thing in the air. It was so fast. But it was good. And it was a better fighter plane than any other plane we had seen. And it was quite a plane. And that gave us the big engine and everything. And that's a good thing because I'll tell you what, I've heard things about the enemy. They say, some of my comrades tell me, the enemy like captured the village, and they took all the children out, like your age, took them out of school, took the mothers and fathers, dug a great big ditch, lined them up in front of the ditch, and shut them all dead. So I believe anybody that can shoot some people dead deserves some kind of punishment themselves. And I was there with my last machine and my plane to do just that. And I'm willing to try again. Any country tries to take over this country and wants to harm our new country, harm our new people, I'm ready to do all like all of these veterans we see here. They're ready to get their life on and go to war if necessary to protect you. So just remember that when you talk to them. All right, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I have this wonderful crowd, and my name is Sergeant Claude Williams. I want to tell you, you were growing up in the best country in the world. As I was saying, kids your age had no schools, had no food. Many kids had from the army, they were getting a rice a week. And that's all the food they had to eat. So you were wonderful. You should be happy. no bread, and no school on Guam. And it went up. So, all I can say for you, you should be very happy to be in the country like ours. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Those guys are sleeping on us. My name is Sergeant Henry. I spent 12 years in active service and 21 years in the military. I took airborne training. I took basic training in Fort Dick, airborne training in Fort Benning, Georgia. I've been in Germany twice. I've been in the United States twice, and Vietnam 3.5 times. I belong to a unit called Air Mobile. What I call Air Mobile is that we move our troops by helicopter. We're the largest air mobile unit, or actually largest air mobile division in the world. In Vietnam, we supported everybody from the Marine Corps all the way to Navy, or anybody. So I joined the Army when I was 18. I quit school. You guys don't do that stuff, right? Well, I quit school and I joined the service. One thing, I had nothing better to do. I got my education, my high school service, and 3 years of college in service. So I didn't really have much fun. I got a short time and say anything, but I'll take your question after everybody else is talking. You guys have a good day.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Okay, it's good to be in school. I did graduate from high school in 1968. You know, I went what you call the OJT program, on-the-job training. I went from 8 to 12 and the 12th grade, and then got on a bus and went to Garwood, New Jersey, and I went to a machine shop to train to be a machinist from 1 to 5 o'clock in the evening, and that's how I graduated high school. But I did graduate, and I got a diploma, and then I had a bright idea, me and my best friend, that we was going to go in the Marines. And at the time, I was classified as 1A, which meant that I was eligible to be drafted into the Army. And I told him, I said, I'll fix the Army, I'm going in the Marines. And my philosophy at that time was the Air Force wanted me to sign up for 4 years, and I couldn't see being in the air, because everything goes up must come down, you know. And so the Navy, I was saying to myself, it was too much water for me to drink to be in the Navy, you know, so I chose the Marines. And I went to Vietnam, saw a lot of combat, got wounded 3 times, you know. Me and my brother happened to be over there at the same time. My brother was 2 years older than me, and he got drafted in the Army in 1968, and I joined the Marines in 1968, and we both ended up in Vietnam because I signed a paper to get him out. What I thought was I was going to get him out. And what I did when I signed that piece of paper in Okinawa, Japan, I waived my right to come over to Vietnam while he was there. But he had an easy job. He was a military policeman on a helicopter base, and I was in combat in North Vietnam, North South Vietnam. So we both did a year over there and came back home, and he passed away in 1996. You know, but it was a good experience. I wouldn't wish war on anybody, but somebody has to do it, you know. And what I say to you children, young gentlemen and women, if you want to go in, go to college first. That way you don't have to do no fighting like we did. You'll be